Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Relix, and today we are going to discuss the final game of the LA Kings and Edmonton Oilers playoff series for the first round of the playoffs. If you guys have seen the game, you guys will know that the Kings lost by a score of 3-4. The Oilers won the series 4-1. And a little bit to discuss. As you guys may have seen from the thumbnail, could be some arguments to be made about the officiating of the game. That has been a theme of the series, I will admit. So let's get right down to it. So first off, I want to just clarify that for the most part, I think half the game, the LA Kings, they definitely tried. They put up a fight. In this last game, they definitely put up a fight, but I won't say it was throughout the entire game, and I will not say that it was consistent. It was like spurts throughout the game that were just like momentum shift type of things, and then as soon as something bad happens, momentum's gone, completely dead, and then the Kings kind of give up. I will be the first to acknowledge that. So, yeah. The Oilers, they won. They won fair and square as far as they played better. They definitely deserve to go on to the next round for sure. I am not arguing that they don't deserve to do it because they definitely did. I thought the Oilers, even without the refereeing, even without the power plays, I felt the Oilers were the better team throughout the entire series. And sadly to say, the LA Kings, they need to do better. And based on the rosters, I really thought we had a decent chance to be able to come out on top, especially with the season we had, the second half of the season after the All-Star break, especially at home. I really thought we had a chance to do some good stuff this year in the postseason, but unfortunately, the LA Kings did not. I will give credit to the Oilers. They actually have a very deep team as far as their forwards and defensemen comparatively to past couple years. And then Skinner is no slouch either. He definitely showed up to work and he got the job done. Honestly, even last year I thought he was definitely an all-star style goalie, and then going into this year he was definitely like a superstar, so credit to him as well. So let's get into the details here. Here's your game summary. So obviously, starting from the left side after this first period, shots, they're even. Score, it's 1-1. All right, I like it. I will say that the Oilers definitely dominated the offense as far as possession time and everything like that. And then the King got one lucky bounce, right? Off the stanchion from a Gavrikov dump in which Laferriere was the recipient of that goal. So, it's a lucky one. I admit that, the Kings still are out of the game at this point because, it was just a lucky break. But we were winning the faceoffs compared to the other games, the other 4 games. It was actually a landslide. You guys can see 68 to 32% on the faceoffs. Dramatic improvement. And in fact, we actually got a penalty kill, which gave us a lot of momentum. And I really thought, oh my god, this was a great period. So the Kings definitely had a good first period. 29 hits to 12. That's great, I guess. It just depends on when the hits are coming, right? Block shots, that's kind of minuscule at this point, but both teams were blocking shots, and that's playoff hockey. You gotta lay your body on the line for your team. Going to the second period after that is a 2-4 score, and the shots, again, the Oilers put on the offense. They had more power play opportunities. They went 1 for 4, and by that time, scoring 1. And the faceoffs still in the Kings' favor. It's not like it's that's changed. I thought the Kings were doing great on the faceoffs this game, the entire game. I really thought we have the faceoff upper hand, but then all of a sudden, momentum shifted and the Oilers got the lead. We will go over that in detail a little bit later. As you guys can also see, the hits increased as well, and then both teams blocked a few more shots. And then going into the final period and then to the end of the game, by then, again, the faceoffs are still in the Kings' favor, but it doesn't matter at that point. We gave them another penalty, or another power play, I should say. And, unfortunately, by the end, look at the block shots. 22 for the Oilers, and they definitely deserve to go on to the next round. So just to clarify about those that third period, Kings came out, I think 12 minutes into the third period. 12 minutes. I did not see any fight from the LA Kings. I felt like the LA Kings gave up in the third period. 12 straight minutes, I think. I didn't see any fight from anybody. It was very disappointing. Riddick was just like the only guy out there playing his hardest in that third period until the last few minutes. And it's sad to see that because the Kings had a chance to come back. It's not like the game's over. It's close. And so unfortunately they couldn't come back. So real quick, I want to just put this up here. Going into this game, this is before the game actually happened. This was put up on my TV screen, the last 3 postseasons. 17 games, 11 were decided by 2 goals or less. And guess what? This one falls into that category. So that's technically 12 now of 18 games. 5 overtime games. We could have pushed that overtime for sure. And then of course the home team has a record of 7-10. So that benefits the Kings. The home team has a losing record. But unfortunately that didn't go our way. And then of course the very bottom one, teams that scored first have won 15 of 17. And that statistic was probably the most gut-wrenching, I guess. I would say. Like, that's the phrase I would use for myself when I saw that. Gut-wrenching. Because whoever scored first has won majority of the games. And the Oilers came out and they unfortunately scored the first goal of the game. It's hard because I always say my keys to the game and my keys to the series and stuff like that. And it's hard for me to say, like, oh yeah, the Kings have to do this and do that. I get it. It's a business. The players are professionals and all that. But to me, I watch these games and I really thought to myself, some of these Kings just don't care. And unfortunately, on that first goal, it definitely felt like there was just not enough effort put into the play, the defensiveness. I know England missed his check, but that first goal by Evander Kane, it just shouldn't have happened. I believe it was Roy and Kopitar. If you're swinging your sticks to try and poke check, you gotta hit that puck. I mean, there's 2 of you swinging your sticks and you guys didn't get that. It's very sad to see. So that led to the first goal, but I'm very disappointed in the way the Kings played. When the goals against kind of happened. It's like the same stories over and over again. So what I want to do is go over a little bit more details here. Faceoffs, again, faceoffs were not the issue this game. I just want to go over the faceoffs real quick because I have every single game. And so as you guys can see at the far right side of the faceoffs, you can see the totals and the amount they won. So obviously Lizzie getting 4 for 4. That's great. But we needed to see more from Danault and his line. Unfortunately, the Danault line sucked throughout the last few games, and it's disappointing. I needed them to score a goal, and unfortunately, we didn't get much from them. Arvidsson got an assist today, but it was on a mixed line change, obviously. And then, Dubois on the bottom, it's terrible. This guy's being paid $8.5 million. And he didn't do crap for the team. It's very disappointing to see. And it's not just them. It's a team effort. I get it. But there just needed to be more effort from everybody. I mean, even the guys who did score, or even the guys who have scored, everyone needed to pinch in even more. Like, the Kings just didn't look hungry for another game. They just looked like they had given up throughout most of the game, and it just sucks because that's just not how you should play the game. Maybe it's just me, you know, it's just my view, it's just my opinion, of course, but I just felt like it was just not good enough. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of things, I suppose. Power play. This is the story of the entire series, to be honest. Here we have a chart, the Edmonton Oilers and the LA Kings time, shots, goals, and total opportunities. So time, that's the total power play time in which each team spent on the power play. Kings had 12 total power plays, and of those 12 opportunities, that's 24 total minutes possible. We only missed 7 seconds worth because of a, coincidental minors or whatever. And we spent pretty much the entire time not scoring. As you guys can see, we got 0 goals, 0 for 12. The Oilers, 9 for 20. They had 44 shots, and they used their time very wisely. Their power play is like incredible. I have to say, that's the word I'm going to use, incredible. It's amazing how deceptive they can be, how aggressive on the forecheck they can be, and how fast they can move the puck. Anyone could be a shooter at any point, and it's amazing. I think one of the best shooters on that power play is definitely Evan Bouchard. He's the only defenseman on that play, or on that power play unit, and he gets it done. Other guys who contributed a lot were Zach Hyman and Connor McDavid. Those are the two guys who were scoring a lot this year during the regular season, and they contributed on the power play as well during this series. Draisaitl as well, he could make his own shots happen from his office right at the red line in the corner. I mean, his is probably the best sharpshooting shots in the entire league, and he's just another option. Nugent Hopkins is just the extra guy on the unit, and he still had opportunities as well. As you guys can also see, there's 2 scored right after the PP ended. That was actually this game in which the Leon Draisaitl's 5th goal of the series, as well as Hyman's 7th goal, they both came literal seconds after the power play had ended. So if you add those 2 back into the tally, that's technically 11 for 20 on the power play, in which the PK, or the player who was penalized by the Kings couldn't even get into the play. That's how many seconds, after the power play ended, that they scored. Literal 1, 2, 3 seconds. So in actuality, the power play was even higher than 50%, and that is just mind-blowing. A team with 50% in the playoffs, that's incredible. So that's sad to see. So the last thing I want to really talk about in this series is the officiating. I know in Game 3, the officiating was disastrous. I already made the video on that for the review. You guys saw it. It actually had the most views of all the videos I've made for the series. So clearly it had the attention of other fans as well. But in here, we have the referees, TJ Luxmore and Gord Dwyer. They did not do a good job, unfortunately. As you guys saw from the thumbnail, it almost looked like they were paid off by the Oilers to give them power plays. And I agree and disagree. The specific things I want to take a look at or talk about is the Kevin Fiala embellishment penalty. So Kevin Fiala was on the power play making his entry across the Oilers blue line, and upon entry he was hooked. Okay, clear cut, it was hooking by Warren Foegele, and I saw it. I think okay, for sure it was a hooking penalty. But at the same time, Fiala fell to the ground. Now, I didn't, in live speed, I didn't see any kind of trip or anything like that. So to me, it looked like, okay, Fiala got hooked, so he fell, okay. But as soon as they stopped play, I saw the referee, I forget who called the penalties. I think it was Luxmore. He called the penalties, sending both guys to the box. And upon replays, you know, at first, I didn't really see anything that would have caused Fiala to trip. After the game was over, I did go back and review it. And in my personal opinion, you know, even as a Kings fan, I'm not going to be biased. Fiala got hooked first, okay? He got hooked first, and he was falling over. I don't believe that the swing after that hook by Fogel would have caused any momentum for Fiala to fall over. So unfortunately, I think it's the right call. I do think Fiala embellished the play and fell over. Now, I'm not going to argue with Fox saying that, yes, you know, or I think it was Daryl Evans, like, yeah, I'm getting a scoring chance. Why would I want to fall over and, you know, embellish the play when I'm trying to get a scoring chance? But as far as replay review is concerned, I just can't see any way to excuse why Fiala fell, because it's like real life. I feel like, you know, I used to teach judo and watch the kids, you know, whenever they get their legs tapped, if someone taps their left leg, their right leg bends over and they fall over. That's kind of what happened to Fiala. His left arm got hooked, or his hands got hooked, and his left leg dropped. You can clearly see his knees bend, and unfortunately, that's not even the leg that got tapped after the fact. It was the right leg. So, unfortunately, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate if you guys are watching this and you guys are Kings fans, but I do think Fiala embellished the play. The other thing I want to mention is, so those two went in the box. Fogel and Fiala went to the box. And then to finish off the power play time, Dubois did a stupid ass, you know, centering pass that got deflected, and it was heading out of the zone. And because of that, that was at the end of the power play. And so because of that, Draisaitl was starting to get a breakaway. Because of that turnover, Dubois sprinted his ass back to our blue line. Fantastic back check. I cannot deny that. But unfortunately, upon making contact with Draisaitl, both arms up, holding his stick, and then cutting across Draisaitl's body, the referees decided, and it was Gordwire, the more experienced referee, he called a holding penalty against Dubois on Draisaitl. And this is where I disagree completely with the officiating. There was no hold, and there was no penalty. It was a clean back check, probably the best back check I've ever seen Dubois do, except he got a penalty. So it was on those, you know, that penalty that they ended up getting one of the goals, and it's very disappointing to see, because that was a huge turning point, you know. So does that excuse Dubois' ridiculous center ice play? No, it does not. And of course, Dubois, as we know, has not shown up to work at all this season, yet alone in the playoffs. He didn't do crap at all in the playoffs. But the officials may have shown a lot of bias, and that's why, to start this video, I said they may have been paid off, because not in the literal sense, you know, obviously I think these officials are by the book. They are the best of the best, per se, and I know them by name. You know, I know these referees by name. They've been in the league for a while, and I do think they are experienced and know what they're doing. But it definitely looked like whenever a penalty was going to be called strictly against the star players of the Oilers, nothing happened. And if it was the Kings doing something to the Oilers star players, it just felt like they're going to call something. And they're definitely covering for the Oilers. So I am disappointed in the officiating throughout the series, but in the end, it really didn't matter. The Kings didn't capitalize on their opportunities, nor did they make enough scoring chances for themselves, and the Oilers did better. So I'm not going to make the excuse that, yes, the officiating is the reason we lost this series. No, the Oilers definitely played a better game, and I think that just showed for itself. So just to wrap up this video, again, you got your 3 stars of the game. First one being Drysdale, 2 goals, Bouchard with 3 assists, and McDavid 2 assists. It's your typical guys, and here you go. Here's the stars. Here's literal stars of the series. Connor McDavid, 12 points. He got a goal and 11 assists. Zach Hyman, 7 goals. 3 of them were on the power play. Draisaitl, points in all 5 games. 5 goals and 5 assists. That's insane. You know, and this is where I also keep saying that Draisaitl is one of the best power play or best playoff players in NHL history. I think it's only like Gretzky and Lemieux who are even better than him. And then, of course, Evan Bouchard, a goal and 8 assists, 3 of them in this final game. He is the quarterback on that power play besides McDavid. And these 4 guys, this is the reason why the Oilers are such a good team this year. Hell, even last year. And it definitely showed. They deserve to win because these guys were leading the way. And that's not even to mention Nugent Hopkins, Evander Kane, Corey Perry, Adam Henrique, Rowan Fogle. You know, these guys are all playing big minutes and big plays. Back end, Matthias Ekholm, Darnell Nurse, even Nurse. I hate Nurse, but he played pretty good. He was a very disciplined player throughout this entire series. And, you know, even Desjardins, they were all good players. CC, they're all, you know, helping the team win. It was a team effort by the Oilers, and I definitely think you can't argue that they deserve to win. And that's just the bottom line. So that's just how I'm going to end it. I'm going to do another video, a full playoff series review, you know, what happened, you know, and, you know, explain what I feel like the Kings need to do more of, and, you know, things like that. So it'll be in a separate video later on. I don't know if it's going to be this week or next week. We'll see. I just want to collect my thoughts, research more about the box score and the games, and, you know, then I'll put that video out for you guys. But for now, hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, hit the like button, comment down below what you guys thought, and of course subscribe to the channel for more content. Yeah, the King season's over, but I will probably see if I can do a couple more videos following either like the Oilers or the Bruins, you know, etc., etc. Teams that I like or I care for, especially probably the Oilers, because it is fun to watch them. It is an entertainment to see them work the puck, especially on that power play. And I saw it firsthand as as the opponent. So, you know, and hey, Kings fans, do you guys agree with me? Do you guys disagree with me? Let me know. I know I'm probably going to get some hate from some people if you guys care to comment about that. But I do think, you know, some things needed to be said, and my opinion's, you know, it's just my opinion. I don't care if you guys think I'm wrong or right. I do think the Oilers deserve to win, and I think they won fair and square, more or less. So, you know, Oilers fans, wish you guys luck, obviously. As far as other teams in the league, I am definitely rooting for McDavid and Draisaitl to eventually win a Stanley Cup, whether if it's this year or sometime down the line. You know, in order for the Kings to win the Cup, we need to beat the best. And if we lose to the Oilers now 3 years in a row, that means we are losing to the best. And if the Oilers go on to win the Stanley Cup, the least we can do as Kings fans is say, hey, at least we won to the guys who were the best in the league this year. So that's all I have to say. Thank you guys for watching. Like I said, I'll get another video out about the entire series. But for now, that's it. Hope you guys have a great day, great weekend, and or, you know, continue, guys. If you guys are, your teams are still in the playoffs, I wish you guys luck, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.